Hello everyone and welcome back to English with Lucy. I hope you're well. I hope you're ready for a lesson that I haven't done in a really long time. For a very long time, I have not done anything to do with sounding native because I didn't want to push my students into thinking they have to sound like a native speaker or it's something that you should absolutely aim for. Sounding like you're a non-native isn't good enough. However, something that really interests me when I'm learning a language is how come I sound non-native and they sound native? It doesn't mean that I want to achieve native level necessarily. I just find it fascinating to see, why do I sound the way I do and they sound the way they do? In today's lesson, I'm going to teach you some native pronunciation tricks. So little things that native English speakers do that you might not notice. But once I point them out, you will hopefully be able to apply them to your own speaking skills if you so wish. If not, it's just good to know, isn't it? It's been a long time since I've spoken about native English pronunciation. I don't want anyone to feel not good enough because they don't have native level pronunciation or they might never achieve it. Instead, I'm equipping you with the information and you can make the decision about what's best for you. I think that's a fair way to deal with it because I've had so many different messages from people. On one side, people saying that they're so pleased that I've stopped pushing native pronunciation and things like that. On the other side, people saying they really miss those old videos, that they found them really helpful. So I think this is a fair way of doing it. Here's the info, do what you want. So in this video, we're going to be talking about noun-verb pairs, firstly. So these are two-syllable words that can be pronounced in two different ways, depending on whether they're a verb or a noun. I often hear my students just focus on one pronunciation. For example, the word permit as a noun and to permit as a verb. A lot of learners of English will just take one of these pronunciations and use them as both the noun pronunciation and the verb pronunciation. We'll talk more about that later. I've got loads of examples for you. After that, we're going to talk about how to pronounce words with specific suffixes. And more specifically, on what syllable of the word do you place the stress? There are some rules and hopefully this lesson will really help you or just be really interesting for you. There is a free PDF that goes with this lesson and today we have a quiz and it's a really good one. I really suggest you download it. If you'd like to get that free PDF, just click on the link in the description box. You enter your name and your email address and the PDF comes directly to your inbox, and then every week after that, you automatically receive all of my lesson PDFs. It's a free service. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, let's start with noun-verb pairs. This is something that really isn't obvious to students when they're learning English, but once you clock it, it does make a lot of sense and you'll start to notice it around you as well. As a native speaker, I had no idea that we even did this until I started learning to teach English. And I thought, yes, we do that. I need to teach my students this. So there are many, not all of them, but there are many two-syllable words in English that can be pronounced in two different ways. Take a look at the noun record and the verb record. Record, 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 record. To record a record. To record a record. The spelling is the same, but the stress is different. The syllable stress changes the meaning, and it does this for many different words, and we're going to look at them. Now, there are two categories for these word pairs. There are those that keep the same general meaning, but they change from noun to verb when the stress moves from the first to the second syllable. There are also those which change their meaning completely. Most of them change from a noun to a verb, but there are those that change from a noun to an adjective. Firstly, let's take a look at those which change from a noun to a verb, but keep the same general meaning. Let's have a look at this first one. Decrease, 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 decrease. As a noun, it's pronounced decrease with the stress placed on the first syllable. There has been a sharp decrease in homework submission. Now, if we move that stress to the second syllable, it becomes a verb, to decrease. To decrease. We don't want homework submission to decrease any further. Number two, import, 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 import. As a noun, stress on the first syllable. Chocolate is an import from Switzerland. An import. Changing it to a verb, how's it going to be? The stress is going to be on the second syllable. import, to import. Switzerland hopes to import more chocolate. Switzerland hopes to import more chocolate. Notice my pronunciation of chocolate. I know that this is a word that lots of learners of English struggle with. The way it's written is not necessarily the way it's always pronounced. Chocolate, chocolate, not chocolate or chocolate, chocolate. Number 3, increase, 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 increase. As a noun, there has been an increase in absences. There's been an increase in absences. And then changing it to a verb, we don't want the absences to increase any further. We don't want the absences to increase any further. To increase. Number 4, insult, 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 insult. As a noun, what she said to me was an insult. What she said to me was an insult. And as a verb, I hope she doesn't insult me again. I hope she doesn't insult me again. Insult, insult. Number 5, permit, 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 permit. As a noun, she doesn't have a walking permit. She doesn't have a walking permit. And as a verb, I can't permit you to walk here. I can't permit you to walk here. Permit, 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 permit. Number 6, this is a big one. This is very common. Produce, to produce. As a noun, produce. We sell lots of produce from our allotment. An allotment is a patch of garden that you can rent from your local area and you can use it to grow vegetables. It's very popular here in the UK to have an allotment if you don't have a big garden where you can grow vegetables and flowers. As a verb, produce. Our allotment produces lots of vegetables. Our allotment produces a lot of vegetables. Number 7, reject, 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 reject. You can see for this one and for decrease, number 1, the vowel sound actually changes, not just the stress. We say decrease, decrease, and reject, reject. As a noun, you can take the reject pile of clothes to the tidy tip. A tidy tip is basically a recycling centre here in the UK. You can take pretty much anything in your car and recycle it. To reject as a verb, unfortunately, the charity shop will reject any dirty clothes. Unfortunately, the charity shop will reject any dirty clothes. If the charity shop won't take it, you take it to the tidy tip. And lastly, number 8, we have suspect, 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 suspect. As a noun, suspect, they took the suspect into the jail cell. They took the suspect into the jail cell. And as a verb, to suspect, they suspect she committed fraud. They suspect she committed fraud. Now let's have a look at those that change from noun to verb or noun to adjective, but their general meaning changes. In the previous bunch, their general meaning stayed the same. These are different. Firstly, we have address and to address. Address, address. An address is where you live. I'll give you her address. If we change it to a verb, the meaning changes. She filmed a video to address the rumours. She filmed a video to address the rumours. This means to speak about. We also have conduct and to conduct. Conduct, to conduct. Your conduct is not acceptable. Your behaviour is not acceptable. Or we have to conduct, which means to lead or guide. My dad was invited to conduct the local orchestra. Next, we have console and console. Console, console. She spends all day on her gaming console. Console is a set of controls. Or she was sad, so he consoled her. She was sad, so he consoled her. To console someone is to make them feel better at a time of grief or sadness. Number 4, one word I say a lot, content. Content or content. Content, an adjective. The content of his report was very complex. The content is what is contained. Or, relaxing in the sunshine makes me feel so content. So happy, so peaceful. We also have default and default. Default, default. You can revert to the default settings on your iPhone. The default settings are the settings that something comes with. Or our mortgage was denied for defaulting on a loan. If you default on something, you do not make the required payments. Number 6, we have entrance and entrance. Entrance and entrance. The entrance is shut, so go through the back door. Entrance, entryway. We also have entranced. I was entranced by his singing voice. I was hypnotized by his singing voice. We have object, object and object, object, object. Certain objects are not allowed on planes, certain items. Or to object, would anyone object if I suggested we postpone this meeting? To object is to complain in this case. Number 8, we have project and to project. Project or project for some people, and project. The project is easy enough for 2 people. The piece of work is easy enough for 2 people. Or can you project your computer screen onto the white wall? To project means to cast forward. And finally, we have subject and subject. Subject, subject. What was your favourite subject at primary school? A subject is something taught at school or university. Or as a verb, I was subjected to another creepy lunch with my boss. If you are subjected to something, it means you are forced to undergo something. You're showing that you didn't want to do it. Okay, that's it for the first part of the lesson. The first trick. I've got a really good quiz in the PDF. So if you haven't downloaded that already, make sure you do, because you can test your learning. Now we're going to move on to a really short section, another trick, which is showing you how to pronounce words with certain endings. So we're going to look at some common suffixes, and with all of these suffixes, in general, the word stress is right before the suffix. This applies to words of all syllable lengths. If that's not making sense, let me show you a couple of examples and then we'll just go straight through the list. Now, as always in the English language, there are rules, but there are always words that break those rules, but this will give you a general idea. Let's start with number 1, the suffix able, able. The stress is on the syllable right before the suffix. So durable, laughable, ineffable. So you can't say that the stress is always on the second syllable, the stress is always on the first syllable, because you can see that ineffable has 4 syllables. The stress comes on the syllable just before able. Laughable, ineffable. We also have the IAL suffix. Social, financial. Again, it's right before. So we're going to do one more and then I'm going to put you through a test, okay? We have the CIAN suffix. Musician, clinician, right before the suffix. Now for each suffix, I'm going to give you 2 words, each containing that suffix, and I'm going to give you a little bit of time to say it out loud correctly, and then I will say it correctly for you. You can check if you've got it right. Share your results in the comment section. Let me know if there are any that you struggled with. Okay, we have ERY. How would you pronounce these 2? Okay, bakery, scenery. What about IAN? Go ahead. We have comedian and technician. What about IBLE? Have a go. Impossible, terrible, and icy. Please try. It should be diabetic, characteristic. How are you finding these? Easy or difficult? Let me know. We have ION. Go ahead. It's position, vegetation. IA, try these 2. Media, Victoria. What about IENT? We have ingredient, ancient. What about IOUS? Please have a go. It should be mysterious, various. Second from last, ISH. Have a try. It should be English, punish. And finally, OSIS. Try for the final time. It should be hypnosis, osmosis. Hopefully, you found that really easy. And if not, don't worry. It just takes practice. Really try to stay aware when you're listening to people and seeing where they're putting that syllable stress. I've just got a few more for you to listen to. I have got 7 suffixes that nearly always have the stress placed on that suffix. We'll try it again in the same way. I will let you know the suffix, show you 2 words, and I want you to go ahead and pronounce them out loud with the stress on the final syllable, on the suffix. I'll show you the first one. We have words ending in ADE. The stress is on that final syllable, on that suffix. Lemonade, arcade. Try it with the next one. Words ending in EE. Okay, it should be agree, guarantee, EER. Try please. Engineer, puppeteer. Number 4, ESE. Siamese, Japanese, ETTE. Cassette, Corvette, IQUE. Unique, physique, and OON. It should be afternoon, cartoon. Right, I hope you enjoyed that lesson. For people with certain mother tongues, that seems really easy. But if you have a different language as your native language, it can be more complex. So before you write in the comments, this was so easy, how could anyone get this wrong? Consider that people have really different languages to yours as their native language. I really hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope you learned something. Let me know how you found this lesson in the comment section down below. If you'd like to download the PDF, which contains a quiz, click on the link in the description box. You enter your name and your email address, and I send the PDF straight to your inbox, and then every week after that you automatically receive my lesson PDFs. It's a free service. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to check out Lingoda. You can sign up for your 7-day free trial. That's 1 week's access with 3 entirely free classes. And if you use my code LucyOct30, you can get up to 30% off your first course. Don't forget to connect with me on all of my social media. I've got my Instagram, I've got my Facebook, and I've got my website, englishwithlucy.co.uk. On the website, I've got a really cool pronunciation tool where you can click on phonemes and you can hear me pronounce them and words that contain those phonemes. E. Word. No. I've also got my personal channel where I'll show you around our new house. We've moved away from the farm. We've also got married. There's been lots going on. I'll explain it all there. There's a lot to talk about. I will see you soon for another lesson. Mwah.